Okay, so now again, we need to recognize, what do I have here? Well, again, I've got an x squared, I have a x, and then a number with no x. So that means they're all different. I want to do box. In order to do box, all the numbers have to go to the left. So I switch the 4. So I switch the 4. It's minus. Now it's going to be plus. So let's do the box. So 9x squared and 4. Multiply these two, 36. Now, two numbers that multiply to 36 but add up to minus 12, well, that would be, let's think about all the numbers that multiply. So 1 times 36, 2 times 18, 3 times 12, 4 times 9. There's a lot of them. 6 times 6. That doesn't give me 12. That doesn't add to 12. That doesn't add to 12. That's 13, not 12. But 6 plus 6 is 12. But it's minus, so they both need to be minus. Okay, so now again, cover this up. The 9 is 3, 3, and the 6 is 3, 2. What's the same? 3 and 3. So 3x, and guess what? It's the same numbers again. 9 and 6, so they both have 3x. Okay, so now 3x times what gives me minus 6? Minus 2. 3x times what gives me minus 6? It's the same thing. Look, it's the same thing repeated. So 3x minus 2 and 3x minus 2 equals 0. So the first answer is going to be, well, 2, positive 2, because that's minus, over 3. And again, positive 2 over 3. But guess what? They're the same number. So you only need to write it one time if you have the same number. Okay? Don't write it twice. Okay, now again, look. Another problem with where all the numbers are different. Okay, so again, we're going to do the box. X squared, last number, minus 20. Multiply these two, so it's just minus 20. Okay, so what two numbers will multiply to 8? Okay, so 1 times 20, let's see, 2 times 10, 4 times 5. But it looks like 2 and 10 can add to 8 if I subtract it. It's plus 8, so minus 2. 10 minus 2, so 10x minus 2x. That's just x squared, so x times x, that's easy. It's always a little harder when this number is not just x squared. Then you have to do like the GCF and say, okay, 3 times 3, 3 times 2, okay? But here, if it's just x squared, it'll just be x and x. Then x times minus 2 is minus 2x. X times 10, okay? Now x minus 2 times x plus 10. Okay, and again, I know it says f of x. That's okay. It's still going to be the same thing. X is a liar, so the answer is plus 2, because that's minus, and minus 10, because that's plus. Okay. So now, again, another quadratic with 3 different numbers. So I'm going to try the box. Okay, so 7x squared plus 5. Multiply these two, 35 this time. The only numbers I know are 1 and 35 and then 7 and 5. But I'm looking at it, it has to be minus 3. And neither of these work. So that means the box doesn't work. I need to try something else. So if it doesn't work, okay, well then now I need to do quadratic formula. Minus b square root b squared minus 4ac 2 over 2a. So now again, I need to find my a, which is 7, b, which is minus 3, and the c, which is 5. So the b goes there. So take out the b, put parentheses. Now we still have the minus. Oops, there's not 2 minuses, just 1. Okay, then plus and minus. Okay, now take out the b and put 7. Minus 4. Take out the a and put 7. Oh, sorry guys. That's not 7. Of course not. The b is actually minus 3. So now it'll be minus times minus 3, and then minus 3 squared. A is 7 here, and then take out the c and put 5. Okay, over 2 times your a, which is 7. Okay, now I just need to simplify. So first, minus times minus, well, that's plus 3. Okay, then negative 3 squared, that's negative 3 times negative 3, which is 9. Okay, so now minus 4 times 7, that's 28. I probably need my calculator for this one. It's a bigger number. Okay, so minus 4 times 7 times 5, minus 140. Okay, then over 2 times 7, which is 14. Okay, so now I'm going to subtract those two. 9 minus 140, well, that's going to be 131, or negative 131 over 14. Okay, but there's a problem here. And the problem is, maybe you guys already see it and already saw it in class, is that I've got negative in the square root. As soon as I get a negative in a square root, I stop and I know that that's going to be no real solution. Okay, or no solution. Okay. Okay, so now this one down here. Okay, now again, I've got 1, 2, 3, and again, these two are the same. They both don't have x. So that means these two need to go together. But I have 3 different numbers, just like before, so I want to try to factor, do the box. Now, I know this says complete the square, but I want you to factor, okay? Or try to factor. Okay, so now I'm going to move the 6 and add it now. So 2x, okay, minus 6x, and the negative 10 plus 6 would be minus 4. Okay, notice that this has, that I can divide 2 here because it's 2, 6, and 4, so I could GCF. This is 2, this is 3, 2, this is 2, 2, x, x, x. So they all have a 2. Okay, so then 2 times, let's see, xx, so x squared, minus 3x minus 2. Okay, so I'm thinking, okay, let's try the box. Okay, so then minus 2 here. And then I put minus 2 up here. Okay, the two numbers that multiply to 2 would be 2 and 1. Now, here's the deal, though. This could be a bit tricky because that has to multiply to minus 2, right? So that means one of these has to be minus. Not both, but one. If I do 2 as minus, well, then that equals negative 1, not 3. Okay. If I do 1 as minus, 2 minus 1 is 1, not 3. So that means the box does not work, and what I have to do with this is the quadratic formula. So A is 1, B minus 3, and I could do A is 2, B is minus 6, and C is minus 4. Or after I take GCF, I can still use the same numbers inside the parentheses. Okay, so now minus times minus 3 plus a minus, square root of minus 3 squared, minus 4 times your A times your C over 2 times your A. Okay, so now negative, negative, positive. Okay, negative 3 squared, 9. Minus 4 times 1 is minus 4, times minus 2 is positive 8. And then 2 times 1 is 2. So this is equal to 3 plus or minus square root of 9 plus 8, which is 17 over 2. Yes, Elijah? Yeah, go ahead. Okay, now 3, I want to do on the calculator, the first 3 plus the square root of 17. Okay, but then I want to divide the 2. Okay, so the first thing, again, I'm doing is I'm doing 3 plus square root 17 over 2. Okay, and that's going to give me 3.56. I'm going to write down the whole number, 1. And then I'm going to do 3 minus square root of 17. Okay, so I'll go back up, change this to minus, and again, divide by 2. So now I get the next one, I get negative 0.561. Okay, so remember, we want to stop here at the 100th, the second number, and then look here. Now it's the same combination of numbers, so the 1 means the 6 will stay. So then I'm going to end up writing 3.56 and then negative 0.56. Okay. Okay, so now the next one. Okay, now this next one says solve the quadratic equation using square roots. Now, why would you use square roots? Well, if you look, this number and this number are the same, and then this number is by itself. So here, I only have 2 different numbers. One of them doesn't have x, and then this one does have x squared.